Hello everyone, my name is Eric McHugh. I am the owner of Iron Eat Art Studio, and over the last couple of years I have helped with the Rotary with you guys, building and fabricating a lot of the parts for the flight program. We're just going to kind of show you quickly how it all comes to happen.
So Rotary, last year if you remember we had Flight Light, and in Flight Light we had just the small petites. So the small petites start from just a very basic plate like this. And this basically goes to the Coronado High School, and they cut these out, and they're just flat pieces of metal. Then they come to Eric, and Eric basically invented what kind of shape this should have as far as its curve and the body arrangement that they have. Because he brought in this body that has these two set screws in it, it gave us the capability of either having a dome-shaped base or a flat base.
More traditional one.
Right. But it also gave us the capabilities of having ground stakes out in the garden that has 1, 2, or 3 butterflies on it, and it gave people just more flexibility of what they want to do and what they want to buy. So that started last year in 2018, and we continued that on to 2019. The other big fabrication part was the stands. I should point out that normally in 2017 we had fabrication companies that did the whole gamut of the entire scope of the butterflies and the stands. But because the amount of work that's going on within the city, all the fabrication shops said they don't have time. They couldn't do it. So basically we looked at the cost of everything and we said maybe we can do this individually and do individual pieces and ultimately get the project done, but save some money too. So that's when we incorporated Eric. You need a ground stake for everything that gets on the live auction. So we had roughly about 38 of these made, some surplus for future years. And then we had the stands made. So the stands are made individually with 1/4-inch plate, and the top of these are the same. So when you think about it, that's a lot of work, and they all had to be powder coated. But that gave us the capabilities that every artist has one of these display stands to go ahead and put their butterfly or dragonfly on to do the painting while they're putting it.
Came up with this idea of this dragonfly, which I did the mock-up for out of wood, well, the wings. And it seems like that it's been a good reception from the artists.
Yeah, as an alternatives.
Yeah.
And but because we didn't have any prototype made at that time, we started from ground zero.
Yeah.
So basically, to start with the body for the dragonfly, we basically used a medium body from a butterfly.
So this is the body that we've been using for the large butterfly, and then if you look at it, the center part of this is just from the smaller butterfly, and I tried to keep it as simple and as kind of traditional, like to a dragonfly, as possible, so we can keep the cost down because it's a very simple body figure.
Then the wings, this is aluminum as well. As Eric said, he created this from a mock-up of wood, and we basically traced it out and then had them cut. And during that process, it became evident that we had to bend them.
Yes.
Because originally they were just flat, straight across, and they looked like balsam wood on a glider. When you bolt these down, because of the 24 threads that are in the bolts, it really does hold up well to making it nice and stiff and sturdy. And then the artists paint either side. They can paint the body, and some of them paint the riser here as well. So from a fabrication point of view, the body was critical and one of the very first elements made. We also changed it, and this is a result of a recommendation from one of the artists, is instead of having 5 bolts along this body, there's only 3, and they are drilled and tapped as well with the same bolts, so that when the butterfly wings go on, they just bolt 3 places on each side, and that holds the wings on for a butterfly. Then as a finishing touch is the title plaques. Now these are 1/8 thick plate, but that has to be cut out, which is by a plasma cutter. So then the tabs have to be cut out, drilled, and then welded on. And everything here has to be powder coated to protect it during the weather.
So we here at Cornell have been working on these butterflies for about 3 to 4 years. Students get a kick out of doing it. I have some of the groups who did it 1 year, and then the next year they are actually my foremans. And a few of them actually said they really enjoyed doing it because they felt like they were in a real shop. And so I think it's outstanding for the students. They get a wonderful opportunity to feel like they're in a shop. We'd like to continue doing this for quite some time. We write the grants for through D11, and we get a lot of equipment for our shop.
While fabrication is ongoing, the artist wrangler this year, Randy Stiles, was busy visiting art galleries, schools, coffee shops, and anywhere else with even an inkling of art in its existence. He distributed the calls for artists, the documents soliciting the creative minds of our community. This year, 91 applications were received. Through a jury process consisting of Rotarians, sponsors, and representatives of the art community, each application was reviewed. From that group, 45 artists were chosen to produce 53 beauties, 5 large butterflies, 8 small butterflies, 12 dragonflies, and 28 petites. This year, we had more than 70% new artists to flight, including students and Rotarians. The artists picked up their blank butterflies and received instruction at the annual Artist Workshop at a space once again donated by John Rogers. Thank you, John. While creations were in process, Randy checked in with these artists weekly to assure their final designs matched their entry and that they would meet the deadlines. Let's talk raffle. The raffle butterfly generates the most money per butterfly each year. Your support of the raffle is vital to the success of our project. Butterscotch by L.B. Johnson is this year's raffle butterfly. The raffle process is enormous and significant. Karen Adams and her team work under the direction of the State Gaming Commission to create and sell raffle tickets. Once the butterflies were delivered to storage, Lynn Boutte took photos, and Artemis Pearson from Phoenix 820 worked with Kay Rendelman to create a brochure for the auction. All brochures and posters and signs are printed at the D11 print shop, compliments of Michael Thomas and D11. Josh Slate, our flight webmaster, uses the photos and the artist bios for display on csflight.org. And the butterflies and dragonflies are clear-coated at our presenting sponsor, Status Symbol. All weather protection is vital for the life of the art. Once dry and photographed, a strong team of Rotary volunteers planted them in front of the Pioneers Museum. Before this initial display, Rotarians worked with museum staff and the City Parks Department for a safe location. When you see the display, you'll know that our designer Cass Daly had a hand in placement. They look beautiful. The grand reveal was held on August 13th on the lawn with the petite butterflies showcased inside the museum. Then the petites were moved to Wayne Smizek's gallery, the Lawrence Dryhurst, for display until September 13th. So, while all the visual things are going on, a team is in the background working hard on silent auction, getting donations, arranging pickup, preparing signage, values, and delivery. And don't forget the gala planning, selecting a venue, a menu, centerpieces, beverages, registration logistics, and promotion. Partnering with GiveSmart once again, the registration process is online along with bidding for the live auction of these sculptures. Speaking of live auction, we look forward to working with Sam Rush Walton of the Ronald McDonald House to help us raise more money this year than ever. Are you out of breath yet? I am. Blended in with all these tasks are many other spinning wheels, posting social media, writing scripts and press releases, visiting other clubs to talk about it, working with the media, removing the art from the display and arranging for touch-up, transporting it to the venue, then setting up each piece for auction and eventual delivery to buyers. Once the auction is completed, the books are closed out by Flight Treasurer Larry McCants and all-around everything to us, Claudine Dixon. Once the final profit number is established, Dr. Carol Bach and her committee will evaluate grant submittals from D11. Additionally, the Community Service Board, headed by Kent Palmer, chooses which causes our club will support within our community. We hope that you gained a better understanding of this process and that you realize the importance of volunteering next year when the request goes out. So many tasks, so many Rotary hands of help and financial donations of support make this the premier Rotary fundraiser in the Pikes Peak region. Working side by side with our magnificent sponsors, in particular Status Symbol, and the devoted artists who contribute their time and talent to this event, Rotary is able to serve above self. That's what it's all about. Thanks to all.